in.
Hello.
We're just flailing now. New
Hello.
year, new
Well,
year flail.
well.
Jazz
Audience.
hands.
Can you hear us, the audience? Can you hear us? Please tell me you can hear us.
we got some audio.
Yay, our audience can hear
We are
people,
heard.
which implies that there are
We're
people
not
here, which
quite
is news
dead
to me.
people yet. We're good. We're good. We still got some hit
generous
points.
term for webcomic artists.
It's true.
Indeed. Indeed. Okay. We are live, and therefore I shall launch into the thing I always say. Hello, internet friends and webcomic fans. It is I, your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist. Welcome you to another episode of Trash Heroes, the Dungeons and Dragons stream where we recount the epic adventures of this wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes. As always, our players are this supremely talented collection of internet cartoonists. Please do check out all of their work at the various links that you can see to your upper right. Go and support them on their Patreons and their social medias and all that good stuff. There is, in fact, a Patreon for the stream as well, which you can find a link to in the description below. And without further ado, I will introduce the characters. First up, there is the Keeper of the Vermin, Protector of the Trash Heap, Fettid Quaggle.
Me, hi.
And next up, our larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar, Ugna Sugar Tusks.
Bone crushing time.
And next up, the trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal that is Tromlin Dariels.
Hello.
And I will save our full description of Morgan because I'm still waiting on a particular reveal before I give it away with this script. So for now, I will just say that we have our wild magic sorceress, Morgan. And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
I'm so glad we have somebody doing wild magic in our party. That's such a fun mechanic.
Yes.
It is the best.
Indeed. And so when we last left our heroes, the group had woken up after a long rest in the sewers in the lair of their new goblin friends. Tromlin, of course, had a vision during his morning prayers, during which he passed his spider baby offspring, his tiny spider goats, on to their mother in the nether realms, as they have shared custody. And the party awoke in the morning to find that they had been able to heal the non-magical fever being suffered by one of their goblin friends, but the ratkin that was infected with the purple brain fungus clearly requires greater magic for healing. So during the night, the goblins had actually gone out and located a cache of the infernal effluvia that the party was seeking. And so it was determined that this would be sufficient to pay for the magic dagger for Fettid. So after a quick discussion and the fact that Jeff was away, it was decided that Fettid would stay with the Quaggles and do some scouting to find a way into the deeper catacombs where the party might be able to locate the source of the purple fungus plague. Purple
Fungus sounds like a great band.
Purple Puppus.
Purple
Good.
Fungus is definitely
Excellent.
a punk band in this setting. The source of the purple fungus plague, the dread Quagillithid.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, the rest of the party would go back to the surface with the tied-up ratkin and take him to the Sunshine School for Peculiar Youngsters for some magical aid. They did this, pausing along the way to summon the fire demon Edoreza, and left him in the sewers to decimate the tentacle monster that had been encountered previously at the gateway in unholy flame.
This is all, of course, according to CDC recommendations.
And then deliver the effluvia to Snot Gobble the Artificer and procure the magic dagger.
Forgot that was his name.
Indeed.
Nice.
While doing so, the group met with a satyr sorceress called Morgan at when they stopped for food at Baba Yaga's Wondrous Waffle House. She actually gave them a message from Glorpa about a new prophetic vision that Glorpa had It was similar to her previous vision about the huge tower rising out of the sea with storms in all directions, but the storms in the west were getting worse, with lightning and black clouds and a giant skeletal hand reaching out of the clouds toward a city that seemed likely to be Dwimmerdell. In the vision, the dead were seen rising in the Black Hills beyond and marching south to somewhere where there is war in the peninsula of Loach Tal, as the group had deduced. After some discussion about this vision, the group went back down to the sewers to rendezvous with Fettid, but in doing so, they encountered a pack of deadly brain creatures that the Quaggles spoke of. They fought off the attack, but Ugna got bitten on the leg. Copernicus took some psychic damage. The party patched themselves up and set out to find Fettid and the other Quaggles.
I'm just putting up our world map so we can see where Loach Tal is.
Yep,
So
sure.
At the left there.
Where am I here on this stream? So yeah, so we can see the Northlands, where that northern part of the Evermere has the north, south, east, west, and of course on the west there is Dwimmerdell, out where the T on the Northlands is, and the broken lands, all the hills full of undead that are marching south towards the peninsula of Loach Tal.
Also, I'm going to mention this because I just see it in chat. MLIS Revenge apparently has subscribed for 20 months.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness!
Oh.
Whoa!
So many
That's
months.
so many months.
Yes.
Yep.
More
You're
than
very optimistic the world is going to last that long.
Have
Yeah,
we been-
I know,
have
right?
we been going for 20 months?
and the campaign. Excellent.
Oh, and just so you know, I am working on the Lothlight as we speak.
Oh yes, I should have put that in the update. I should have put that in the update.
Oh, I have to go look at that.
TPK.
Oh no! Oh no! I also have to draw a version of it. I already have an idea though.
Oh yeah.
I believe that was indeed Metageeky who
Gifted
who
like
paid
a
for
bunch
who paid
of
for this
subs.
abomination to occur.
Yeah.
Now we know who to blame.
I thank
Indeed.
you. I need to start drawing actual party smut.
Did I?
Party smut.
Did I send you my sexy Tromlin?
No, but like I actually run a Sunday game, and
Good.
for a while we were doing Pathfinder, and I did inappropriate drawings of everyone's characters with
Good.
permission, obviously, and some of it was kind of horrifying. I'm not gonna lie.
Excellent.
I just
Speaking
did
of
a very
horrifying,
Jeff Goldblum Tromlin with like the
Oh,
the no
yeah.
shirt. It's very.
Oh my gosh, is it in Discord or?
Oh, I should drop it in there. I think I pushed it for our patrons, so they may have already seen it
Excellent. Or you may have put it on the
on our
private Discord.
Private Discord, yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Fettid.
yeah,
I'm gonna switch over to Fettid. So while the party was gallivanting around and like eating at the Waffle House and meeting up with Morgan and then fighting crazy fungus brain monsters, we had Fettid scouting the sewerways for ways into the deeper catacombs, along with your new goblin friends.
yes.
Let me just get my notes open up here. Yes. So the pair of Quaggles introduce you to their the rest of their ragtag band, a handful of other goblins, most of whom who have lost body parts to the fungus, as well as a halfling named Bert Picknuckle, and a tiefling named Gup Doomsworn, who is very, very tiny. Gup is small even compared to Fettid. It's like a foot tall.
There you go. That's a little guy.
A little imp. And these are the ones who located the cache of effluvia for you guys,
Mhm.
but also say that they can help you find whatever passages you want. They confirm that, to the best of their knowledge, the halfling illithid that your crew has dubbed the Quaggillithid is indeed dwelling in the deepest catacombs below the primary sewerways.
Yeah, have we actually met the Illithid yet, or
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You have been given information about him from the other
Right.
Quaggles, but then also in a useful vision that occurred 2 sessions ago.
What do the other Quaggles know about the Quagilithid?
Very little. If you'll recall, the information that you got about the Quagilithid was largely from a vision because the chat voted for it. Speaking of which, this is a good time to begin the first poll for this game. Or
First
probably the
poll
only
of
poll.
the year.
It's the
Yeah.
first
Hell
poll of the new
yeah.
year.
So we're going off stream, right?
Yep. So I will ask the players to step away from the chat for the
Ouch.
poll to occur. And I will remind our audience that they may vote multiple times in the poll if they are willing to put some of their channel points into it. This one should be an interesting one. There are some really fun options for this poll. So please do vote early, vote often. The poll will only run for about 10 minutes. Actually, I think it might be running faster from the look at it. I think it might be more like 5 minutes. I'm not sure what it was set to. But so definitely get your votes in because you're not going to have a lot of time. So with that, I will allow the poll to go ahead and run.
I feel like Fettid is very conflicted about the whole Quagilithid thing because in principle it sounds gross as hell, which is super cool and like I want to be friends with them, but on the other hand they're like spreading horrible diseases and mind controlling people and stuff like that, which is not okay. So it's a real shame.
Indeed it is. Okay. So yeah, the Quaggles don't know a lot about how this thing works. You guys have already determined that it seems to be spread by the bites of the purple brain puppy things.
And how long ago did the first victims start showing symptoms, or how long ago did the brain puppies first appear? I guess, just out of curiosity.
That is an interesting question that you guys have not asked the Quaggles yet.
I asked the Quaggles.
Well, you're not there.
You could send me
no
a message
Quaggles
and
to
I
ask.
could ask them.
But Fettid could certainly. I'm not completely against table talk. Fettid could certainly ask that question.
That's the thing Fettid could think of.
Mm-hmm.
If it was me there, I would be like, no, not a chance.
But yeah, if you ask them that, Fettid, they will tell you that the halfling who became this Quagilithid, there was a halfling that moved that they are pretty sure is the cause of this, who moved into the lower catacombs. He was a Quaggle magician who was looking for something in the catacombs and moved into the Dwemer Quaggle community maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
And then the brain things started showing up only about a month ago. And at first they weren't very many in number, and then there were more and more of them. And just in the last week, it's gotten really bad. Most of the injuries of the Quaggles that are here have occurred within the past week.
Well, I'm glad I semi-arbitrarily decided I wanted a magical dagger when I did.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. The poll is sitting at a tie. I have confirmed that the poll is 10 minutes, so you do have some time here, people. But keep those votes coming because I'm only going to go with one option, so I will roll off if it's a tie. We got some pretty tight contests so far. Okay. But it's anybody's guess. All right, so the Quaggles, like I said, they don't know too much about like the whereabouts of the Quagilithid, but they do know plenty about the catacombs, since they've lived here all their lives. There is, as was discussed previously, a central well where there's kind of like a bottomless pit that all of the various sludge of the sewers and sewage eventually goes towards. The Quaggles have theorized in the past that there may be a rift to like an elemental plane down there somewhere.
Yes, the garbage
and that's-
dimension.
Yeah, and that's where it goes. Some kind of trash dimension. If this isn't it.
Oh, so this world then.
Yeah,
Yes.
the trash world's trash world. But there's a lot of passageways that lead down there. The central well is actually fairly narrow. So all of these big pools and sluices eventually lead there. So there are several ways further down below the big lake where a lot of stuff kind of accumulates, and they can lead you down there.
All right.
To do some searching.
Like a plan. Should I just make some like dungeoneering checks?
Actually, that's a good point. So you have a.
I mean, I feel like I am
dungeoneering-
naturally good at this sort of thing. I think one of my traits is.
Yeah, you have a dungeon delver feat,
Yeah.
which makes you very good at finding secret doors and traps and resisting traps. So yeah, first of all, let's make me a survival roll, and I'll get you to make a perception roll with advantage as well.
All right. 18 on the survival roll. Perception.
Is that an 18 on the roll or 18 total?
18 total for the survival
Okay.
roll. And then
You can actually roll that with advantage because you have the aid of your Quaggle
Okay.
buddies.
Oh yeah, that's much better. That's 29 on survival and a 16 and 7, 23 on the perception.
Okay. So yeah, you don't have any troubles finding ways through, and particularly in such a way that you'll be able to find your way back. And so you basically scout for a while. The most difficult part of your scouting is trying to find a way down to the lower levels that your friends can get through. Because obviously you find a number of sort of places that you can creep and crawl through that maybe Ugna would not be able to. So after a bit of digging around, and you eventually find a sluice gate that you manage to trigger the mechanism to open it completely. And it might involve like a little brief plunge in the sewage, but that you probably don't even think twice about that. That's fine.
Nope. Nothing I haven't done
but-
before.
Now it's
Today.
definitely big enough for Ugna to squeeze through.
All right.
And you definitely find as you get deeper into the lower levels of the lower levels of the catacombs, that things are a lot more kind of dank and nasty down here. It's ceased to be like an obvious sewer, and it's starting to become more like a series of ancient dungeons, like lined with black stone and mixed with natural fissures and caverns.
Hey, it's starting to get kind of eldritch down here.
Yeah, everything's quite damp, and there is like funguses and mushrooms and things like that growing everywhere. You definitely feel the need to give yourself a stealth bonus,
Okay.
and I'd actually take a stealth roll from you.
All right.
But let me know if you are casting Pass Without Trace on your little party.
I'm going to,
Quaggles.
even though in hindsight I don't need it, but it'll still be good. So that is a 19 plus 8 plus 10, so 37.
That is
Ooh.
okay.
You're
You
invisible.
melt into the shadows.
Don't exist.
We're into the last minute of the poll, so I'm just going to push that. We got a really tight contest between two items here, so this is your last chance to get some votes in if you are particularly wanting one of these to win. Oh, someone in the chat has asked if Metageek if Fettid has both hands, but no, not yet. He still has one hand
I got a stump.
and a gun, a stump
Yep,
and a gun.
my gun stump.
So you're basically the kobold version of Ash, William.
Yeah,
Good,
Oh,
essentially.
excellent.
you strap the pistol onto your stump, and there you go.
You're basically like
Oh, last seconds, last seconds. Oh, it's so
one
tight.
hand,
Who's gonna
a
win?
firearm. You're
That's what
fighting
she said.
undead zombie things.
Mhm.
Yeah,
God, yeah.
like a very small, very filthy Bruce Campbell.
Good.
I mean, if you saw the Ash vs Evil Dead TV series, it's not a far stretch.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness,
By the way,
that came
Ash
down.
vs. Evil Dead
That came down
is
super
pretty
tight,
good.
people. All right.
Said.
Okay, everybody. The poll has completed.
Nick.
So with that insane stealth roll, so yes, the poll is over. So feel free, players, to go back into the chat. So the yeah, so with that insane stealth roll, you quickly find that you are able to integrate your small group into the dungeon well enough to see that there are dungeon denizens down here. Not in the sense of quaggles, but in the sense of, you know,
And
awful
monsters.
stuff.
Yeah.
So some of the what you thought were funguses and molds on the walls with your good perception check, you realize to be dangerous slimes. There are definitely there are traces of webbing here, which makes you think that there are probably some kind of spider monsters that have been down here. And of course there are actually traces of purple fungus on some of the creatures down here.
Alright.
So some of the mushrooms that you see, for example, are like maybe semi-sentient, maybe myconid types, and they have patches of the purple fungus growing on them.
Alright.
And in fact, you start seeing signs of that purple fungus kind of everywhere. But in addition to that, I'm just pulling up some notes here because,
We're hitting straight up dungeon territory now.
yeah, so you find as you go sneaking through these dungeons, you are able to evade a few traps. You are able to evade any monsters that you come across, and you find in what appears to be an otherwise dead-end corridor a secret door. There is a mechanism hidden in a crevice where there's just a rock kind of blocking a rusted metal lever that you realize turns a mechanism that like makes the end of this corridor slide to the side. Do you wish to investigate? Beyond?
Yeah, first I want to check this door for traps, the area around it for traps.
Your perception roll, I'm taking to cover that. So yeah,
Okay.
you're quite certain that well, first you find a trap basically
Yeah.
that you quickly disarm. It's not like a complicated trap mechanism, but rather an alarm type effect set up with webbing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to carefully attempt to open this door, see what lays beyond.
Well, there's only one way to open the door, and that is to pull the lever.
All right.
So it will open somewhat loudly, but you can keep yourselves well hidden in case someone comes along.
I think that's the
in
best
response.
I can do, yeah.
With a 37 stealth, and I'm just taking your roll for the party, for you and your little goblin buddies. The door rumbles loudly to the side, and you slip through and hide yourselves. Sure enough, a short time later, a huge spider creature with a human torso at the front of it. The torso is purplish with large bat-like ears. I'm going to assume that Fettid is maybe enough of a dungeoneer to recognize a Drider when he sees one. This particular Drider, however, has an entire side of its face and one arm and half of that body just bulging with the purple fungus. And it makes a chittering noise to itself as it comes to investigate and poke around with a spear. And finding no one, it resets the door and the web trap alarm that had failed because you had disarmed it. And then it goes skulking back off into the darkness. In this chamber, sorry, you're at the head of it. You're at a landing, top of a big stairwell. It's very broad enough for 4 or 5 people shoulder to shoulder, and it goes straight down into a large chamber with 3 similar stairwells, or 3 including the one you're on, going from different angles. It's a hexagonal chamber, so every other wall is a stairwell going up. And at the bottom of these stairs is this big chamber, which has a trapdoor in the floor off to one side with a moldering wooden cover that, if someone stepped on it, would almost certainly just splinter and they'd fall through it. You don't think it's meant to be a pit trap, though. It's just a really shitty old trapdoor, because it's not really hidden in any way. And you can even see the posts of a ladder sticking up through the boards of the trapdoor. But in the center of the room, there is what looks like a very ancient stone dais. And at the top of the ceiling of this chamber is a hole. There's a well, and you can actually feel fresh air coming from it. So this hole in the ceiling is clearly a channel that goes all the way up to the surface. And by this point, you're several stories below ground. In the center on the dais, there is a stone plinth that is clearly carved from the living rock of the original cavern before this room was built, and it sticks up through the flagstones of the floor. It's very ornate, carved with runes on it that you're I don't know anything about any of this weird magic. But sitting on the plinth, kind of half fallen off of it, is a really, really disintegrating book. A couple of the pages have actually fallen out and are lying on the floor next to the plinth, and half of the book is on the plinth and the other half is kind of hanging off. And the second half of the cover, which is a wooden board that's been bound with leather, is come away partway. It's kind of cockeyed.
It's necto, not necktie.
Yeah, got to say it right. Now let's just go for it. You tie the gun to your stump, and you tell the other goblins that it's your boomstick, just so that they know they're aware.
Good.
I wonder if I can get some sort of medieval chainsaw.
I will call the maestro immediately.
Yep.
I'll have him start working on something for you.
If I had knives, but knives in a circle, I could
Yeah.
attach to my arm.
All right. Well, it looks like we've found the spot. So, part of me wants to go down and try to steal that boat just because it sounds like fun. Part of me wants to go back up to the surface and see if we can maybe route some lava down to that hole and just solve it in one fell swoop.
Morgan, I
You
think
guys.
you're muted.
You guys. But also, the book. And that's me rolling a perception, a persuasion. The book, you guys.
But you're not there. It's a player
never
perception.
mind.
I think this has to be left up
That's
to.
true.
I think this has to be left up to a roll because this seems like something Fettid would go either way on.
You indeed have a flaw called curiosity.
Yeah.
So I will call for a wisdom save.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah.
An intelligence save, I think is probably more appropriate here.
Yeah. I mean, neither one of them are. Well, my wisdom is actually. All right. Anyway. What did I get? Oh, nat 20.
Ooh.
Oh ho!
Ooh.
Okay, with a nat 20, I'm going to give you something special. So
the
you
cursed hand
realize
teaches best, I guess.
Yeah, you're like you're like reach for it and then look at your other stump and you're like, oh, two hands though, that would be a real problem. Um, but with a nat 20, I will give you that you decide that or you realize it's possible to investigate the book without touching it. Um, that you can basically do some sniffing around and like some peering without actually touching or disturbing the book and triggering any dangerous magics.
That sounds like a wise plan. Yes, I'm going to do that.
Um, so in that case, you come up and kind of get a look at this book,
Hmm.
and two things are going to happen.
Hmm.
Um, First of all, you notice from the fallen pages that are slightly scattered, you can see a few things on those pages.
Hmm.
A lot of it is written in a language you don't understand. You assume this is one of those magic language type things. Um, but you do recognize pictures of the brain things that were described to you by the goblins. Um, and you deduce that that you're a spellcaster. You've seen some of Copernicus's crap that he gets up to,
Hmm.
um, and although you don't have a particularly great Arcana skill, um, I'm just going to sort of ride that nat 20 on your saving throw and say you realize that these are ritual instructions. Um, and that the ritual to create these brain creatures is quite possibly contained in these pages,
Okay.
um, probably among other things. Um, the second thing that happens is you get a whiff of a really familiar scent, um, not coming from the book, but from beyond it. Thanks to the breeze that's coming down the channel, you get a whiff from that trap door that smells like home.
Hmm.
Smells like the swampy sewers of Mud Hollow.
I'm very skeptical of that. Let's see. Could I use my swarm to grab a couple of the loose pages of the book?
You could indeed, and then you could step back quite a bit because that has a
Exactly.
mage hand range
Yeah, yeah. I think I would like to
of
do that.
30
See if I
feet.
can take a couple with them to show the rest of the party. That may affect how we decide to proceed from here.
Okay,
And yeah, I want to do that.
indeed. So you send some of the swarm to grab the pages of the book, and you find that it is possible to do so. They sweep the pages over towards you. You can like lay out a piece of rag for them to put it on and fold it up and make a package, a parcel out of it. Um, you pick that up with some trepidation, but nothing happens. But you still got that smell in your nostrils coming from that trap door.
I really want to just go back up and find the rest of the party.
You want to roll like a survival roll to see if you can recognize that scent?
Yeah, I might as well. Every roll I take makes it that much more likely that I just say screw it and open that door, though. And I know that will be a mistake. What are you? You are
Maybe, maybe not.
nine survival. That's a 19.
That's pretty good. You definitely recognize that scent. You recognize that scent um, as being the scent of uh, Madame Trashy, the trash elemental uh, avatar of the Quaggles of Mud Hollow.
Hmm.
It's the same kind of scent,
Okay, yeah,
the
no,
same
it's
kind of
too weird.
mixture of garbage and fungus and whatever.
It's too weird. I'm out. I don't trust any of this anymore. I'm already down one hand. I've already pushed my luck and got a nat 20 out of it. I'm cutting my losses. I'm out of here.
In that case, I'm going to call for a wisdom save. This is an actual spell effect
Yeah.
saving
Ooh.
throw. So you have a
Are
specific
you
DC.
kidding me? Is that really? Well, that's a 1.
Oh, that is very below the DC. So that's a total of 5.
Who?
Can I spend some sort of consumable to reroll that?
You could spend an inspiration on it, but I will tell you that it's not a negative thing. Just as a DM, I don't necessarily want you to waste an inspiration if you don't have to.
All right. Well, I think it's funnier to just let that one stand than say that curiosity
Well, it's like
is
first saving
once
throw,
again gotten
nat 20,
better.
second saving throw, nat 1.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Even so.
Dungeons and Dragons, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are suddenly overcome with a compulsion to open the trapdoor and descend. You do not, however, so you have to act on that compulsion. That's the saving throw, but you can do other things. So you could, for example, tell your friends to stand back, or cast some sort of protective magic on yourself or anything like that. The only thing you have to do is obey the compulsion.
I am going to send my buddies up without me. Tell them to go find the rest of the party and wait for me if I'm not back in 30 minutes, however long seems reasonable. To
Do
assume
you
that
want
I have
them to
become
take the
evil.
bundle, or are you keeping it with you?
No, I don't want them
you just
to
went silent.
touch something wrong.
I cannot hear you, Jeff. What
Oh.
happened?
I can hear Jeff.
Oh, I can
That's
hear
weird.
Jeff.
Maybe it's
Am I
your
still
headset.
audible? Not
Yep.
muted.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Oh, I can't hear anyone.
Oh,
What
okay.
the hell?
That's a lane problem.
Oh, no, it's my problem.
Did the headset die? Headset. They don't charge super great.
Yay, technology.
Yeah.
I'm very nearly finished with this loaf light, by the way.
Technical
Stand by.
difficulties. We can hear him.
Yeah.
He just can't hear us.
Which will be a challenge.
A little bit. Arena and main channel. I can't post it publicly, but I'll show it to you.
Oh, good.
So I'm
I'm
working
gonna
on.
go sneak off on my phone and look at this.
You can probably still hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my headset disconnected, and I'm trying to get it to reconnect because it is wireless.
Oh, that's so good, Randy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Trying to bring some D&D stuff into pop.
Oh, very good.
Okay, all good?
Yep, you hear us?
I am still heard. Excellent.
We can hear you. Can you hear
Can you
us?
Yep,
Good.
yep. No, it's just I have a multi USB thing because I've got my so many devices plugged in when I'm on this stream, and every once in a while it cuts out on me. Like the mouse will stop working and I have to replug it in, and that is where my headset is plugged in. So it just chose to shut off. If it happens again, I'll switch it to Bluetooth. I won't be able to hear you as well, but it'll be better than having
Better
to
nothing.
mess with it every time. Yeah. So apologies to the stream for the delay. But where was I? Right. So you tell your friends to head off without you. I had asked if you were sending them with the bundle or if you were
No,
gonna...
I'm hanging on to that. I don't want something. If it turns out to be some sort of horrible eldritch bomb, I would rather me being the one carrying it.
I like how sus this is from the goblin's perspective. It's like, I gotta go be alone with that trapdoor. Everybody go upstairs. I just need like 5 minutes. Nobody look!
Also,
Don't watch.
if I don't come back, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. Probably nothing.
Tell my friends I went down skeeving.
Okay, so you open the trapdoor and go down the ladder, and you find yourself in a grotto under this trapdoor. This grotto has a couple of like sluices that go into it, and there's a big pile of trash. It's very like the grotto underneath the castle in Mud Hollow. And this pile of trash looks very much, it's a similar pile of trash. There are other ways out of this room. And in fact, the ladder comes down onto kind of a stone walkway above the trash. that has an entrance in either end, like a hallway, but with one wall open to the trash pile. But as soon as you get down here, you are overwhelmed with a smell and sensation of the fungus and spores that are growing in this trash pile, and you swoon. And instead of, or you're so for what happens next, you're not 100% sure that you're entirely conscious, or just high, or what. But like Madame Trash Heap rises out of the garbage, a figure of a dragon rises out of the trash heap, like a dragon made of trash.
Oh, hell yeah.
As
Hi, Dad.
yeah, it's like as if Madame Trash Heap was taking the form of a dragon.
Cool.
So it's got like banana peel eyebrow on one side, and like a bunch of like wood chips make up part of the tail, and one wing is like a disintegrating hang glider or something. Anyway, this massive effigy of trash speaks psychically to you, and it says, Fettid of the Quaggles,
Dad?
I have chosen you to be my avatar upon this plane.
Okay.
So yes, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
It
You are now my
responds.
dad.
It responds well.
Mm-hmm.
It responds well to being Trash Dad.
My garbage father.
Oh, good.
And
Junk Pappy.
it reaches out one like massive like claw, which is actually like a rusted piece of a gate, and like it's going to boop you on the nose.
Hell yeah, I'm into it. I hold up a tiny little fist, do a fist bump.
And it bestows upon you the gift of the Trash Dragon.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's like the transferring of the spark of humanity into Adam or
Yep.
whatever, but
Yes.
Absolutely. Just much stinkier.
But the
Yeah.
spark is kind of like a splorch. Like the claw to fist touch has like a string of goo that snaps back after.
Mm-hmm.
and your
as it
little
goes.
fist bump fist is probably the size of its finger.
Yep.
Yeah, of the tip of the claw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is Fettid's gaining of a feat,
Ooh.
which I have based on the Fitzban's dragon book, Gift of the Dragon, but it is specific to the type of dragon that is the Trash Dragon. And the Trash Dragon, yeah, the Trash Dragon will say, it is a momentous time. The omens are clear, and it is a time for the worlds, the walls between worlds will begin to weaken.
I'm like frantically looking for something to like write on so I can make notes of this, because I know there's no way I'm going to remember any of this clearly enough to describe it to Kearney or Tromlin or anyone who might actually know what to do about it.
The creature that inhabits these halls is but a pawn of the forces that are moving. I rely on you to bring forth the power of my realm, my realm
garbage
of
zone.
trash. Strengthen the walls between the worlds.
Now I'm imagining that I'm like kind of doing like a Goku powering up pose, but instead of spiritual fire, it's just garbage floating around me.
Yep. It's just a swarm intensifying.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Super Saiyan hair, but it's all banana peels.
Super Stan.
Good. Super stinking.
stain.
Mhm.
Super stinking. And with that, you perceive like a vision of fire and warfare. So you get a sense that this is to the south, but you basically see cities under siege. Flames on the horizon. So you sort of have a perspective of being in like the mountains of the south, and the southern horizon is like on fire. Just all across it's an ocean view to the south. You can see the island of Elvenhome looming, but the ocean beyond it is like a wall of fire.
Let's switch to some map.
And I don't know if you can scroll that map up a little bit and show the
burning isles.
Yeah, the burning isles that make up the southern.
We can just get to the tips of them because they're like right at the bottom of the map.
Yep.
But there's
Are they
Lochtal,
normally on
there's
fire?
Elvenhome, and there's the burning isles.
So this is not something that Fettid is particularly familiar with. All of this map. You've seen the maps that Copernicus has pulled out, so you vaguely remember these shapes. So you probably wouldn't recognize that the thing you're looking at is Elvenhome. You just feel that this is happening in the mountains to the south. And from the heights of the mountains, you see the burning cities, marching armies in Lochtal, and you see the flaming horizon to the south. I'll save further information about this until someone like Copernicus can give some thought to it.
Copernicus has probably tried to sell you on like maps and cartography so many times with like a really goofy dad like,
Get this nerd shit away from me.
But cartography is like being a ranger of the mind.
No. I hate it.
I imagine concentric circles on this map that are like based around Mud Hollow, and it's like the nearby lands around Mud Hollow, which is like Fettid's turf, and then beyond that is like far from home, and then beyond that is like too far from home to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Not my problem. It's just what it says after about 20 miles outside of Mud Hollow.
Good.
Here there be not my problem.
Yeah.
Yep. But just for the chat and for the purpose of this map, because it will come up at some point, is as a fantasy world, I basically made this map just a straight up, what's a globe? What's a sphere? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's all
the world
flat.
is clearly flat.
It's flat. We're on the back of
But
the turtle.
the north is cold, the south is hot. And the further north you go, the colder it gets. The further south you go, the hotter it gets.
Until it's
Hence
on
the
fire.
burning isles. The burning isles is where there is like volcanoes and stuff. This whole on fire shit might be a little extreme. Okay.
All right.
So
We have taken some extremely hastily scribbled notes of all of this. Hopefully try and pass this on to Copernicus. And
you kind of like come through the haze, and you note that that was Alina, I think you're picking me up on your headset, maybe.
Oh,
Here,
probably. I
can
didn't
you
need
guys-
it. I had to
Yeah,
run.
I
I don't know
thought-
what I touched, but I'm getting hives on my hand, so I'm just grabbing
Oh, no.
antihistamine. So,
Okay.
ow.
Yikes. But that means you're probably coming through your headset mic and not the desktop
Oh,
Nano Yeti, if you
right.
if you care about such things.
Let's adjust.
I could tell because when you ran out past me or behind
got
me,
really loud?
I could hear myself echoing from both microphones. Yeah, so you kind of come through this haze, and you were looking deep into the face and the eyes of the trash dragon, and then it just sort of you sort of blink, the blur fades, and it's just like the pile of trash. It's like you're looking at the clouds, and you're like, that pile of trash kind of looks like a dragon, but it's just a big heap of garbage that people have thrown into these sluices that bypass the main sewers. And you're just at the bottom of a kind of moldering wooden stepladder. As you're sort of coming to terms with what just happened, you hear shuffling footsteps coming up the passageway to one side.
all right. I want to immediately try and scramble up out of here before I am spotted.
Okay, you do so. I'll keep your stealth roll from before because it's ridiculous. You flee back up the stepladder and carefully close this trap door behind you. As you do so, you hear a voice echoing down that passageway down below that says something in a language you don't recognize, and then followed by in just common, "Who's there?" But I'm assuming you don't respond or hang around.
No, I'm bailing. I want my friends to help me deal with any of this.
Okay, when you get back up to the top of this stepladder and look around, the quaggles are gone.
Okay.
You get the sense that some time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And that they did the thing that you said, waited for you, and then took off when you didn't come back.
All right.
So from here, you're able to, you made great survival rolls, so you're able to sneak your way back again the way you came. You have a brief bit of difficulty when you get to the closed door with its trap, because you'd have to open it again from this side. But with a little bit of hunting around, you find another, like a crack that you can squeeze through and try and eventually make your way back by a different route. And when you do so, you eventually find yourself getting back towards the upper levels of the sewer, and you hear some voices, the sound of somebody casting a spell, and you realize it sounds like your friends. It sounds like Tromlin casting a healing spell,
Cool.
coming down one of those big. You're in one of those big spoke corridors that lead to the big lake of sewage.
All right. I'm gonna try and make a dramatic entrance.
Well, with a 37 stealth, you've beaten everybody's.
Yeah.
You've beaten everybody's
Just a little bit.
standing, whatever the hell you call it.
Slightly better than a 10.
Passive perception. You've beaten everyone's passive perception by a lot.
Mm-hmm. I just want to like slither up Ugna's shoulder, say hi.
I jump. Oh, hi. Oh, where'd you come from?
Viewers, I just had an interesting experience, so I will relate my.
So before
meeting
you do
with-
so, I'll just let you know what you encounter here. So it's your friends, but with your friends is a white-furred, darker-skinned satyr, another satyr.
Cool.
It is. I'll go back to the description I was given because it's funny. I think that you said that to me in Discord. Yeah, it's in Discord. Where is it? Okay, here we go. A tall satyr. She's quite tall for a satyr, like taller than an average human woman, with gleaming white, curly, fluffy hair and fur, purple eyes, and a huge rack of golden painted ram's horns and big tits.
Nice.
And she is hanging with your friends here, like she knows them.
All right.
And she's also wearing on her person several musical instruments, kalimbe, the little metal plucking instruments, as well as this like bejeweled, fancy looking like Starbucks / boba cup in a sling. I don't know if you have the prop.
I do.
Just sipping from it.
But
Good.
exactly.
We
Amazing.
will have a lemonade gin in it later.
Oh, for real, the real one.
For realsies, though.
Excellent. Yeah, and the group is looking a little bit beat up, but are in the process of being healed by trauma.
You may have caught a snippet of conversation when you were first sneaking up, of like Ugna and Tromlin having a conversation where she was like, "Are we gonna have to cut it off?"
That's when I was casting Luster Restoration on you.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I mean, I guess I could cut around the wound and cast Luster Restoration, have kind of heal itself. If you want to do that.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Take precautions, I guess.
All right.
I'll wind up like one of them kobolds with the.
You had also decided to
Mushroom
use
heads.
you had also decided to use the acid that you had with you to wash
Oh, right.
the wound.
Yeah, so we're probably just finishing up that.
And I should probably also mention that I forgot Morgan is still at the point when Fettid comes up. Morgan is still giant.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because
Right.
that only lasted for a minute, but like it was, it still goes beyond the combat. So
Yeah.
as you were approaching, the satyr was actually bigger than Ugna and then shrank back to smaller size while you were approaching.
It's like a perspective trick. The closer you get.
Yeah.
The small
It's not the weirdest thing I've seen in the last 5 minutes or so. So I'm not sure it would even really register for me at this point.
And then the stinking intensifies, and I go, yeah. Oh, Fettid, hi. Where'd you come
Hey.
from?
Down there, I found a bunch of stuff, and then I will relate what happened. Talk about how I met my dad, weird dad vision.
Your dad's a trash dragon?
Yes.
It's not the
Cool.
weirdest thing in this group.
Cool.
Yep.
Out of character, I remember one of us, and I think it was Fettid, but it could have been Glorba, had some kind of prophecy about finding a trash dragon. It might have been Madame Trashheap who gave it.
It was
Does anyone
Madame
know what it
Trashheap.
was?
It was Fettid.
Ooh.
So Fettid was told by Madame Trashheap to seek out the trash dragon.
Carney is
Mom said
reminding
find Dad.
Fettid of this, and Fettid's like, "Oh yeah, right.
Shit,
That was the thing, wasn't it?
Shit.
Cool. All right.
Aw,
Well,
buddy.
I did that.
I'm so glad you met your dad. That's real cool.
Mhm. Yeah, he seemed chill.
Nice.
Gave me some powers. We did a fist bump. It was cool. Anyway, I know where that horrible illithid thing is, and I think we should go murder it.
And can I take a quick look at those pages you said you grabbed?
Yes, I will carefully hand them over and warn him that they may or may not be dangerous. I'm not sure.
And Morgan, Charmlin, could I get your eyes on these too?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's gonna be lots of things here that I might miss. And I think we can pool our resources for a Arcana check on it.
Wait, don't I have comprehend languages? Is that one of my spells?
I can
I-
ritual it, but it would take 10 minutes. So if time is of the essence, then
Probably got some time.
Comprehend languages is, I think, an available spell for you, but it's not always prepared.
Yeah, I probably don't have it prepared. I'll be
Hey,
honest.
Stephanie, I got the hummus, and also
the hummus order. I
Oh,
will.
and bringing food in the background.
So then maybe I'll cast comprehend languages and I'll get some help with an Arcana check on this.
Let me just double
Arcana
check
check.
whether you need to. Yes, you do. Okay. Randy, you can make a roll on your linguist skill
Okay.
since you have that feat.
It is a D20. It's
It's it's a
plus-
normal int plus proficiency bonus skill
um,
check.
It's a +4.
Yeah.
14.
That's decent. You recognize the language at least because you've seen it a couple of times now. That this is one of the mini versions of Occultan or Occultic, which is the just sort of like secret language that the magic types write their magic spells in.
Basic mage can't.
Exactly. Although it's not really a cant because it's not spoken. It's never spoken.
Yeah.
It's written. It's like the opposite of a cant. But
Mage script.
yeah, mage script.
Like a mage can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We got there.
Good.
So with your comprehend languages, you you can kind of do. You've got if you take the time for to do ritual casting, between comprehend languages and identify, you can indeed identify this as part of a magical ritual.
Roll
You
a
need,
28 Arcana in case it's relevant.
oh well,
Jesus.
you would need to see more of the book to know more, but you believe this is definitely. I mean, you start, frankly, with that Arcana check, you start reading, and you get very cautious about whether and what people should be seeing of this,
Oh,
because you believe that this book is probably a part of what has empowered this Quagilithid. You've now heard enough from these stories from the Quaggles that you realize this Illithid is not an extraplanar being, but rather a
homegrown.
normal halfling who has become this creature. And you believe that this book contains the knowledge that allowed this creature to do that. You also, from these pages that Fettid has brought you, you believe that this is where like the magic to create the purple fungus plague and these brain creatures, which you now sort of, I'll just say from the writing and here you interpret, are called intellect devourers. You learn a little bit about them. As you already know, their bite can potentially spread the plague, but also they attack psychically. If they if they basically manage to use their psychic, you felt their psychic attack before you took damage from it.
But still
if
blood down my nose.
yeah, if their psychic attacks are powerful enough, they can actually render their victims unconscious and begin to devour their mind remotely. With that crazy roll, I'll even say you don't know a lot about illithids. You need to do some research, but you do know that illithids spawn in this way. They are extraplanar beings, but they can take over the minds and eventually the bodies of victims. But that they usually do so with specific races, and if they don't use those specific races, the outcomes can be weird and unpredictable mutations. And you've never heard of a Quagilithid before, so that seems to potentially be relevant.
I think nobody should have such incredible and dark powers, except me. So, I say we take this guy down. Do I think that destroying this would achieve, like actually destroying the physical book would achieve anything, or is the magic already wrought and the book is just the instructions for doing the magic?
B, but you would be interested to see if, like, from studying more of the book, you might be able to learn more about the origins of this magic.
Okay.
Like the sources of it.
Oh, right, and we think it's, Fettid has told us that the dragon has told him that it's part of a larger movement of forces at work at the moment. So that would be good to do. Okay, and do I have any sense from the knowledge from the book of how, if there's any way to do like a larger undo on the infected, or like the fact that like down here there's not like even just the fungus is affected, like it seems like this is pretty in the ecosystem at this point. Is there any like undo oil spill button that can be magically achieved, or like at some point we're just gonna have to send a hazmat team down here?
You would need to study the rest of the book. You need more information to make that call.
Cool.
Again, you don't have a lot of specific information about illithids, but you rolled really well on your Arcana. So I would say there is some reason to believe that maybe sort of vampire-like, if you take out the illithid that is taking over minds, it might do some degree of help to release those who were taken over. But you would need to do more investigation. You're not an expert in these guys by any stretch.
Cool.
If you look at the book harder, are you going to be Grandpa Squiddy though?
Yeah, so a question I was gonna ask is there anything Illithid related on my bucket list? And yeah, am I aware of anything like drawing me towards the knowledge in this book, or like the lure of power? I'm just curious. I'm certainly susceptible to it.
I'm trying to decide whether I would say since we already established that you don't know a lot about illithids until recently, they probably wouldn't be on your bucket list. But like, probably various types of dalliances with dark gods might make some form of appearances on such lists, I would imagine.
I might, if there's anything related to like shooting a zombie in the head, I might need to borrow your gun, Fettid, just for one round of combat,
Fair.
if I may, please.
That's fair.
Cool. All right. Well, I think my suggestion is that Fettid leads us to where we can find the rest of the book, or find the halfling, and we
Agreed.
proceed with combat.
I'll remind you that you have something for Fettid.
Oh yes, and then I say, I think that you've certainly earned this, and I hand over your new magic dagger.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yay.
Amazing. I love it. I immediately drop it on the floor.
Clonk, clonk.
It's fine. Magic. It's okay.
Sweet.
It's real
I think,
sharp.
okay,
Yeah.
I think you should keep my ritual, my blood.
Oh
ritual
yeah,
knife,
yeah. I
for
couldn't
the
hurt
rest
those
of-
guys.
Yeah.
That's how they got a
It's
bite
alright.
on me.
Mm.
I just had this mental image of like a magical dagger of shattering, one use.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No,
Explode
this
does all
is
of us.
this is a +1 dagger of returning.
Cool.
So when you throw this dagger at a target as a ranged weapon, it vanishes after impact and then reappears in your hand.
When you drop
Alright.
it, does it just like reappear?
Let's find out.
I would say you'd have to throw it deliberately.
All right, I'm gonna throw it deliberately at the ground.
Katang.
You find a spot where it isn't like stone that it would dull. Yeah, as long as it hits something, as long as it sticks into something, so you throw it, knife, it goes chunk into the dirt, and then after like a split second, it vanishes and it's back in your hand.
Cool.
It's actually a little disconcerting the first time because like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
because you're sort of like you weren't holding a thing and then suddenly you are.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happens if you throw it and then draw your gun before it hits the target?
I feel like that's how I lose my other hand, so I'm not gonna try that.
Play with knives! Play with knives!
You heard it here first, kids. Play with knives.
Good.
Yep.
Yes, correct.
The DM's response to that is, "Do you want to try it?"
No, I don't.
My theory is the knife gets loaded into the gun, instant reload. Knife gun Fettid. Think of the possibilities. This is now all in character.
Nope.
I've decided.
Nope.
Good.
Nope. I'm sorely tempted, but like I'm just nope.
Alright.
Okay.
All right. Let's get going. I've got your like ritual dagger in one hand, and I've actually got a net in the other, and I've stowed my hammer on my back, which is not my usual fighting arrangement.
Also, I'm just curious if anyone's going to introduce Morgan in character.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I would not.
Fettid, this is our new friend, Morgan.
Hi.
She's very interested in us in collecting information, I've noticed.
Your horns are huge and bulbous.
Morgan, you're muted.
Thanks. They're pretty great. I have a great rack and a great set of
Amazing.
horns. Yeah. I mean, your bud seemed pretty concerned about leaving you here without her expertise and skill, so I owed her a few favors.
Oh yeah, she knows our former druid friend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've hung out with her a few times, and I'm gonna be throwing out my slutty Kent.
Can't.
I was about to
That's
say,
what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Yes, correct.
Yep. Yeah. So since no one has that language, I think it just goes completely over Fettid's head. Only.
I mean, most
only
things do. I'm
trauma.
not very tall.
Wait, is my comprehend languages still going?
Oh. Yes. So what do you say? Are you just simply making it clearer that like you've hung out with Glorpa a few times has specific meaning?
No, I'm basically asking him if he is part of the club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So with comprehend languages, you detect that there is like a tone and movement that sort of is a exploratory, more or less translates to, are you in the know?
I'm aware of all kinds of deep and arcane and academic knowledge. Of course I'm in the know.
Huh?
Like, what? Okay.
Knowledge is power, and power is sexy. The brain is the biggest erogenous zone.
Did I miss something?
Cool.
You know, I'm just going
Anyways.
back to tending everybody's wounds and ignoring
Bernie
my
actually is like
grandfather.
very sex positive. He's just a slut for one person, and it's his dead wife.
Good. Who happens to be in a bucket.
Yep.
Ooh, that's some hard info to know out of character.
I mean, don't worry. Eventually, you'll
Easier
know
to
it in character. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bernie needs a T-shirt that just says like "bucket slut."
Oh.
Oh, this is upsetting.
Welcome
Oh.
to Trash Heroes.
Trash heroes, everybody. So, you are going to, I assume, then carry on. What's the plan?
I think we sneak and follow Fettid.
Yeah, I think I can do another pass without trace and hopefully get us down there without being spotted again.
Okay, so you guys are going to make your way back to the route that Fettid came down before. He leads you to a sort of a waterfall of sewage where there is a sluice grate that has been opened, and he's like, "We got to squeeze through here." So basically, you all have to squeeze through the flowing stream of sewage.
I will
Delightful.
Fun.
disconnect Trey and let him wander through on his own, and then squeeze down the tunnel as best I can.
Just
Is there any-
uploading the low flight pictures. Sorry, I'm a
Good.
little distracted.
Good.
Excellent.
Is there a way to prestidigitate or thaumaturgy me a little umbrella as I go under?
Not really, but it is possible to prestidigitate yourself clean on the other side.
All right.
And that is my plan.
Mm-hmm.
How does Morgan deal with this?
Sorry, I was dealing with Coom. We're going through sludgy water. Is that what
No,
I'm hearing?
Raw
Yeah,
sewage.
sewage.
We're going through
Oh,
raw
it's raw
sewage.
sewage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to plunge through a stream of raw sewage to get to the other side.
We do this sometimes.
How far?
You ask in character.
Yes.
Fettid will say that it's just a few feet.
Walking through or swimming through? Sorry.
You kind of have to go into the stream and then up and out.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shower. It's okay though. It's warm.
It's the opposite of a shower. It's good.
Yeah.
Fettid, do you
Yeah.
think Filth would be willing to be an umbrella for a few?
I mean, he can try. I don't know if he's big enough, but sure.
How big is his wingspan if he like?
Not very. He's only he's
Aw, it's just a little
basically
guy.
imagine. Yeah, he's a little guy. He's a tiny creature.
Imagine if
so
you had a
he's probably
cockatiel
only-
on your head with its wings spread.
Probably the wingspan, because he's probably the size of like an eel. The wingspan is probably more like a macaw.
That's pretty big, actually.
It's a couple of feet.
Yeah.
I turn to our new satyr. I'm like, I will cast a spell on you when we get through. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I can actively cast prestidigitation.
Like sort of actively keep the
You're just like, oh
Yeah.
no.
the snuff off
no.
as you go through.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
If you tell it no so hard, it just stays away from you.
Yep.
Basically,
Not
if you're willing
today,
to if you're
sludge.
willing to spend if you're willing to spend the spell slot, if it's that important to you, which it kind of is, if you are given the exact location that you need to get to from here, you can dimension door there.
How far do we need to go overall? Yeah, that is what I'm trying to problem
So
solve.
imagine that one level up, there's like an open trough of sewage, and at the bottom of that trough, there's a big, huge pipe that
Not
opens
enjoying
up
this.
into the level you're at, and it's pouring through. So basically, you're just going through that and then up and out of the pool. So probably in like raw terms, we're probably talking less than 12 feet.
Yeah.
From standing next to the.
But the ultimate location we're going to.
Oh, like the long term, like location, like much further than the range of dimension.
Because if I'm gonna dimension door.
Yeah, no, much farther.
Get some bang for your buck.
You spent like an hour going through catacombs. Like it's not that quick.
Yeah.
Can I Misty Step past all this?
Misty Step, you have to be able to see where you're going.
Okay.
But Dimension Door, you do not.
Could you send your monkey and then step to your monkey's vision?
Could I?
Look who's fancy.
I've
I would say
played
so.
a caster before.
It's only a 30-foot range, but that's far enough. So you could take your poor familiar and say, you have to swim through the sludge.
In fairness, my familiar's not a real animal. He's like
That's true. A magical spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, buddy, you're going through there. Sorry.
I'm just trying to also calculate how many spell slots or how
That'd
many.
be one of your level 4 spell slots, but it is very in character for you to do this.
So like,
I'm gonna do
it.
Yeah, I'm not.
So the little Tromlin pulls a golden tamarin monkey out of his shirt.
Yeah.
Which which has a little outfit, a little pillbox hat, and it stands next to this stream as Tromlin tells it what to do, and it like gives Tromlin like hunched shoulder, kind of gives him a
sorry, buddy,
and then jumps in, swims up to the top, and then you can see through its eyes, and you can see the stone area. Fettid's already gone through; he's already up there.
I look at everybody, deuces, and bow. I'm just gone.
Puff of fairy mists, and you step up there.
Hey Morgan, do you have a monkey?
No, but I think I'll just open up a door.
Okay.
And with that, I'm gonna dimension door.
That's
a weird bit of stereotyping. Do you have a monkey? And I understand why.
Every satyr Ugna knows.
Met have monkeys.
Yes. In fact, the same monkey.
Ugna just believes that all satyrs have a monkey.
Yes.
It's required. It's satyr law.
Yes, correct.
I want my next
I heard that as SEDER, satyr.
Yeah, me too.
I want my next character to be like a monkey person, and they just have a pet goat.
Yes.
Switch.
Like a tamarin, a humanoid tamarin who has a pet goat he walks around with.
Good.
So Morgan answers your questions, Ugna, and takes a fist and sort of like grasps at the stone wall here, and basically a magical little doorknob kind of appears out of nowhere, and Morgan opens it, and the wall opens for a second, and Morgan steps through. Are you looking to take anyone with you? You can take one target with you.
Oh, I'll peek back over to Ugna and go.
Oh, how many people can go?
I think it's just me and you left. I think I can fly up without getting in the sewage.
I will then unhook Trey and hand you this baby owlbear, and then sort of like just trudge into the sludge myself.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You have a baby owlbear and a Bjorn now wrapped up.
All right.
It kind of snaps at you, and you're like, oh, what the hell?
He's surprisingly heavy.
I'd like you to roll me your wild magic check, just so we know what's going on.
This is how we lose the baby owlbear.
No, it's a D20. It's not a 1.
Turns inside out.
And then Ugna and Copernicus can.
I
push
will.
their way up
I
through
will
this sludge.
hold the like curtain of sludge open for Copernicus to fly through, and then just
You
trudge
barely
through
fit
myself.
through.
Yeah,
You have to like crawl through.
like I'm getting dirty no matter what.
Yeah. So Copernicus dives in and then basically floats out the other side and like sheds all the sewage with prestidigitation and then lands next to all the rest of you on this ledge. Ugna crawls through this giant tunnel and then
I'm
just
like,
stands up.
Before it's at like mouth level,
And
I'm
you're-
like, oh, it's no worse than the mud pit. It's just like the mud pit. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
And once you've crawled through into the main trough, you basically just stand up and your like head and shoulders are out of the sewage and you're like, okay, climb out.
Just dripping.
I think like you get hit with like 3 prestidigitations from all directions. I think from all of the.
Good.
I think everyone casts prestidigitation on Ugna. I mean, like, good God, no,
Oh,
I'm
hell
not
no.
traveling with that. And everybody forgets to do it on Fettid because it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, it's fine.
It'll probably just make him madder at us.
Oh yeah, if you
Personal
clean him.
insult. I have scrubbed him clean before. He did not seem to enjoy it.
What was the color? It was orange, wasn't
You're
it?
orange.
Orange.
Yep.
Orange, but it is a requirement when he wants to stay in my house. He has to take a bath.
Yeah.
When Fettid got a bath, Jeff rolled on a random Pantone chart for what color his actual skin was because no one had ever seen it before, which is quite amusing.
I would like to announce that I have finished the Lothlight illustrations.
It looks so good.
They have
we have
been
a-
sent.
Looks real good.
Are we going to share a safe for work version with the,
I
with the stream?
can probably grab that on break. I'm having trouble opening it on my phone.
Okay, no worries. We'll bring it up after the break.
Yeah.
So
Send
in
it
the
to Google
meantime,
Drive because they're GIFs. Get excited about that.
Yeah. Gifts.
I would like everyone to roll me a stealth check as you now move through the sewerways into this dungeon that Fettid has found previously.
Oh, I hope there's a
Forget,
pass
you've
without
all
trace.
been, yeah, you've all been passed without
Okay,
trace,
good,
so add
good.
a bit number.
Assume
That's
also, Tronlin, are
21.
you giving Ugna your blessing
Yeah,
as usual?
absolutely.
Oh, nice.
In which case, Ugna rolls with
Advantage.
Advantage.
So I can roll better than maybe a 6 would be nice.
and
Oh, that's better.
Tronlin also
That's
rolls
better.
with advantage because he has an elven
Oh.
cloak.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
25.
That was awesome.
What do we
Got
got?
an 18.
25, 18. Is that with the plus 10?
No,
So it's 28.
And is that a raw roll or is that with your bonus?
that's with my bonus. I rolled an 11.
So you have 28. So we have a 28, a 25. Tromlin?
Natural 20, so 39.
Nice.
Yikes. Okay. You just
So I'm actually the low roll with a 24. Wow.
I got 18 plus 20, which is 38.
Good lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Copernicus also has his shadow cloak, so he
Shadows,
kind of
yeah.
fades into the shadows.
But it's the only one
Now
who
that
didn't
he
get
has his
cleaned.
shadow back.
So you kind of got like that splatty feet thing going on. Splack, 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 splack.
Yeah, it's just you're super stealthy and quiet and invisible, but you're just dripping and leaving a little bit of a trail of sewage. Everybody else isn't. That's the only reason you're low. But yeah, 24 as the low roll is pretty goddamn good. So I'm going to make some rolls here for how your progression goes through this dungeon. Just because it's theoretically possible for a perception roll to beat that low
There
24.
are
It is very
potentially
unlikely,
psychic
but it's.
creatures.
Mhm.
I could roll a nat 20, or for the
Something
right
invalid.
creature, I could roll like an 18 or 19. But I don't think that those are the chances are not high.
Sorry,
Okay.
I misspoke. Mine was actually a 41. I forgot to apply the bonus.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
my bad. Yeah. Not a nat 20, but
You just added the plus 20 from the artificial bonuses
yeah,
and
for
not your
a
actual
natural
skill.
+3.
Yeah. So a 41 stealth. So Copernicus, even if somebody does actually like run into you, they don't notice you. Because you're
Maybe
you're
we won't
literally a
spider
shadow.
web.
Yeah, they're walking into spider webs. They want you
No.
to leave a message.
No.
So Copernicus literally steps into his own shadow and just becomes a two-dimensional shadow
Cool.
before the application of the pass without trace occurs. So you make your ways through this same series of sewers that lead into the lower catacomb levels. And just like with Fettid before, you find that it turns to wet, dank, black stone with lots of fungus and mold growing on it, and mixed with natural black rock caverns deep underground. There are various places where there is light because much of the like the surface of Jormardel, a lot of the fungus around here glows in the dark. So there is an eerie green and purple glow in various places down here, so you can actually kind of see. Some of you have dark vision as well, so even in the dim light, you're doing okay. I would like perception checks from everybody.
That may be wasted. I rolled a 19, so I have a 19.
Nice, babe.
Yep.
I'm going to. I was also going to assume that Fettid is out front leading the way since he's the one who knows the way.
I have a 25.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Got a 9.
So I have a. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
9, a 10. And go ahead, Randy.
I rolled a 19, so I have a 26.
Nice.
Excellent. So. And Jeff, did you roll with advantage?
No, I didn't. I just rolled a 19. My second roll is a 2. So yeah.
There was like 3 19s this round.
But that's just because that was just for some of the things that you're perceiving. Your dungeon delving feat is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that happens is a short way into this trip, Fettid spots a trap that he has encountered in the past. Last time, you and the other little lightweight quaggles just kind of like went over it one at a time, so you wouldn't set it off. But you do not. You have much heavier friends, so I think you're going to want to actually disarm it this time.
Mm-hmm. Seems likely.
So there is a trap in this one corridor where the floor is going to potentially fall away if there's a significant weight on it.
You want to just all jump it?
Don't step there.
Fettid, you know you can slip across without setting it off. You did before.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to do?
I want to try and disarm it. I think that seems like
So there is a mechanism of some kind of pins that release to set it off.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, only when there's a certain amount of weight.
Do you want some help disarming that? I think I've seen one of these before.
Hey.
What sort of help are you giving?
I'm gonna backseat drive it with the guidance.
Nice.
Should I help as
Okay.
well? I mean, I am a rogue, and
Yeah, you can aid if you wish
Yeah, please.
with your thieves' tools. Okay, so so disarming the trap, Fettid, you actually get advantage on rolls to disarm traps, and you get an extra D4 from Morgan's guidance that was just cast upon you.
Evil.
So this is a is this going to be dex based or int based? I'm going to randomize because this will kind of determine
your dex.
how good you're at it because you're much better at dex. It is dex based.
All right, I'll
So
not
you
roll
have
to
a-
help.
So you don't have to roll to help. You're just giving aid.
Okay, cool.
Which would overcome any disadvantage that Fettid might have because he's already got advantage. So go ahead and roll 2d20. Your bonus is a plus 8 in total. And then don't forget to add another d4.
All right, so that's a 19 plus whatever my bonus is.
The plus. So you rolled a 19.
Yes.
So does that include the d4?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and then plus 8 is your bonus. So that's
All right, so 27.
That's good because this was a very difficult trap with a 20 target.
Nice.
So you manage to, you think, disarm the mechanism that drops it into the pit. It doesn't really look any different. You just like cut one of the little wires that's attached to like the sort of pressure sensing mechanism, and you move across, and you can let your friends know that you think it's safe.
I think it's safe.
I'll go first, and I'm gonna walk, but like with each step, I activate the boots of flying so that like
Yep.
if I fall to the ground, I don't fall to the ground. I'm just gonna do like a march across very carefully.
Well,
Smart.
doesn't seem to set it off.
All right, coast is clear.
Let the lighter people go first.
Appreciated. Canter across.
Okay. Morgan,
I'll hop over to where I know is safe to stand.
do you want to jump it?
Sure.
Okay, so Morgan actually like does a little dainty half step and then leaps like 20 feet.
Nice. Oh, hey, that's a good idea. I'm gonna also jump it.
Okay, you can activate the
Yeah.
the climbing leaping, like you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just run along the wall if you want.
I'll just walk. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can stick to stuff, and I'll just like walk on the ceiling.
I'm just gonna say I interpret that as like you forget how the boots work, and then you go to jump and you jump way too high and you hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
But then you stick to it.
Yeah.
Like you reach up a hand because you're like, oh no, I'm gonna hit the ceiling, and you go thump, and then you're like hanging there from one hand, and you're like,
Right.
right.
And then I just arm over arm on the ceiling, like I'm walking, but with my hands.
Interesting.
And then I flip down and do a really cool landing.
3-point landing.
Hey.
3-point landing.
So in this way, you make it past a couple of similar traps before perception rolls that were quite spectacular from Tromlin and Fettid detect the sound of voices up ahead. But Fettid, since you're one of the ones who made the roll, you recognize the voices of your Quaggle buddies that you lost before.
I hear specifically what they're saying, or am I just hearing their vague voices?
It's quite distant, but you get the impression of sounds of alarm. Oh no!
We lost
Randy.
somebody.
Randy has dropped. Now we're all messed up. Come on, Randy. You can find your way back to us. In the meantime, we're just gonna
be kind of
have
sideways.
Interesting breakdown. The only person who's messed up is Morgan and Copernicus. Everybody else is like just fine.
Well, they were on the lower row.
Oh, I thought I
Oh,
heard
yeah.
the noise.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry, I was trying to search spells, and I'm
Oh, no worries.
like clicking a tab. I clicked the
This-
X. I'm smart.
Discriminatory Discord placement. Just mixing up the satyrs every time.
You're just
Yeah.
on the last.
Yeah,
row.
I noticed when you came back, you were in the opposite because Discord's like, oh, they all look the same.
Yeah.
to me.
You all got monkeys.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
God damn it, Leah. That is the weirdest racism possible.
Mhm.
For the audience, for those who don't get it, Tromlin has a secret second identity that Ugna also knows, and Ugna 100% believes it is a different.
Literally every satyr I've met
person.
has a monkey.
But both versions of Tromlin, both Tromlin and his alter ego, have the same familiar, and so Ugna just assumes it's a satyr thing.
Yeah, I've been real respectful of the culture. Like, you know,
Yes,
it's nice to inquire after
Indeed.
one's monkey.
So that's why there's always bananas on my
Yes.
end table.
So, yeah, these voices, I was saying to Fettid, that you get this general sense of alarm from the distant sounds of your Quaggle buddies, like they're in some sort of trouble. And in fact, you quickly, from the sound of it, they seem to be like moving, like they're running.
All right, well, we better go check out what's going on with them. I
Yeah.
hope they are not in too much trouble.
Let's pick up the pace.
Run.
So this will involve breaking out of your stealth. Obviously, your spell will still be active for the duration, but you can't sort of run and hustle to get to their aid and still be stealthing.
That's fine. That's no longer my main priority.
Okay. So you guys begin running in their direction. As you do so, everybody hears a shriek of panic coming from that same direction. And you round a bend in the stone corridor at a T intersection where it opens into a natural cavern that goes up quite high, like maybe a couple of stories. And climbing down from the rocks, hustling downwards, are a group of goblins and one tiny tiefling that's kind of like half fluttering, half flying down ahead of the others, and a very, very filthy halfling. And you recognize that at the back of this group are the two goblins that you first encountered, the one of which you'll recall is missing a foot and has like a wooden club foot strapped on instead. And she is particularly falling behind, and the other goblin is helping her climb. And there are a number of the purple fungus brain creatures pursuing them. And as you encounter them, you see that those two goblins are overtaken by the brain things. And the goblin with the missing fingers, who I actually named. Where did I put the names?
That makes it more sad.
Yeah.
His name was Licto.
Is Licto.
His name is Licto. Yes.
Is there?
But you
Can I
see
send
him
a
fall
guiding
unconscious.
Oh.
Can I send a guiding bolt at the brain things to distract them and pull them our way?
You can indeed, and in fact, you can roll initiative. Let's go with that.
All right.
Let's have everybody roll me some initiative.
One.
I've been
So I have
been
a
rolling.
3.
frighteningly well today.
Yeah, me too. What the heck?
I'm going
It means
last.
all of my attacks are going to be like 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
Because it has to balance out.
So let's hear some numbers.
3.
That was a
Ugna 3, I'm going to confidently put you at the bottom.
Yes.
19, 5, 24 for me.
Woohoo!
Very
15.
nice.
We're at the opposite extremes.
15 for me.
15 for Tromlin. I'm just pulling up the actual stats of this thing because I don't remember what their bonus to initiative is. +3. So that means I've got a 19 for the baddies.
Ooh. 18.
But I have over 20 for the other quaggles. I rolled a 16 and a 17.
Ooh.
16 for the bad guys and 17 for the quaggles. So I'm going to give them a general +3. I've got a 20, and the baddies have a 19. Well, oh, I missed Morgan.
A total of 5.
Okay, you'll go down with
Cool,
Ugna
cool,
and
cool.
Copernicus.
May have rolled a
18.
1.
Good. Join me in the one club. It's very good. It's fun.
I
here.
mean, we're meant to be together,
It's
obviously.
true.
So
Yeah.
And what was that for Copernicus?
18, but which is surprisingly low in the initiative order.
Yeah, it's like one of your best rolls ever for
Yeah.
initiative. Okay, so the first thing, so basically, as you heard the shriek, and you burst into this area, and you see up above that one of these intellect devourers has used its psychic attack on Licto and made him fall unconscious. And the shriek came from his partner, who I also named, so I'm going to quickly pull that one up, who was Wazelgrot. And Wazelgrot is shrieking because she was being supported by Licto, and now she's kind of stumbling as the
Pull yourself up with your
intellect devourers
bootstraps.
go up. Yeah. Oh no, that's sensitive. She's missing a foot.
Your
Bootstrap.
bootstrap.
I'll
You're
turn to
one.
Ugna and say, "Are we bullying these people?"
Oh, I'm
so
assuming
Fettid.
Tromblin didn't actually say that.
Before anybody else.
No, I didn't actually say that. Trauma's not
Well,
that
we're
mean.
attacking. We're attacking at least one person who has only 1 foot.
No, we're not attacking.
So-
We're
trying to
taking
save
we're
them.
taking the intellect powers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
attacking
you're
them.
going to save the goblins.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Although-
not
although
attacking. The
Morgan
one-
doesn't know any of these people, so you don't know
Oh.
yet.
Yeah.
You're like,
We're just
That's
running.
one of the reasons. That's
You've-
why I have the low initiative, is because I'm like, what
you're
are we doing, guys?
Are we saving? Oh, goblins are kind of monstery. Are we saving them from these brain devourers, or are we letting them be devoured? What's happening?
Who's the bad guy here?
Well, you definitely have fought the brain things before, so.
Yeah.
So Fettid,
Yes.
you see the one that has you can see the energies from its weird brain head, moving between itself and Licto, and you can try and do something about it.
Yep. Let's try out my fancy new throwing knife.
Excellent. Do you want to try out so you have a bonus action
Mm-hmm.
that you can do first. You could either do your Hunter's Mark, or you could attempt to activate your new Dragon's Gift.
Yeah, let's do the dragons one. I want to see how this works.
So that manifests as you hock a loogie onto the blade
Mm-hmm.
of your knife, and it is now dripping with weird greenish mucus.
Yes.
And then you can throw it at that brain thing. Now you're quite at long range here, so you're going to have a disadvantage on this throw.
That's fine.
But because the brain thing is getting into melee range here, you have your pack tactics. You can get advantage and cancel that out.
Great.
So you're just a straight up normal attack. And the effect of your Gift of the Trash Dragon is that you're going to do an extra 1d6 poison damage on this attack.
Does the new dagger have a different to hit modifier than my old one, or is it still +8?
Nope. It's another plus. It's +1, 5, 6, 7, 8. It should be 9 total
So
because it's a
9.
+1
Alright,
dagger.
That doesn't make much of a difference when you roll a 3. I would like to spend an inspiration to re-roll that.
All right.
You may do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I did that. That's much better. That is an 18
Oh.
plus 9,
That is-
27.
Edit. Inspiration.
So yes, a solid 27 to hit.
That's much better.
Excellent. So do you want to use your once per thingy swarm addition? Once per turn, you can add a d6 from your swarm
Yes.
to the damage, and then the d6 poison damage. So your base damage with this magic throwing dagger is a d4.
D4 plus 2d6.
Yep, and then plus 6 from your dex plus the +1 bonus of the magic. So 1d4 plus 2d6, but I need to know one of those d6 needs to be designated as the poison damage. Just so
Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled 2 6s and a 4. So, yeah, max damage.
Nice.
My goodness. Interestingly, these creatures have the condition immunity to poisoned, but they do not have resistance to poison damage.
Huh.
So that's just full on regular full damage. So
Great.
you did 24 damage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which absolutely murders that thing.
Sweet. It's a good knife.
Or not quite. It's still alive, but it's in very, very bad shape. It is not happy at all. It definitely breaks its concentration. I'll give it a save, but okay. So normally it would have to save versus having the poisoned condition because of your dragon gift as well, which would give it disadvantage. But these things are immune to being poisoned or having that condition anyway. So that part doesn't affect it. But it does take a bunch of damage, and the knife stabs this purple brain thing and then disappears and reappears in your hand. Excellent.
Pretty sick.
So basically you hock a loogie on the blade and swarm it with nasty bugs and then throw it at this thing. It goes splorch when it hits it, and then poof, pam, back in your hand. Excellent. Having activated that power on this dagger, it lasts for a minute. So for the rest of the
Cool.
combat,
Nice.
Very nice.
without the need to use your further bonus actions. So that thing kind of falls back and is startled, and Wazelgrot, who is like right next to it, is going to hit it with her little hand axe, little hatchet, since she's next. That's a decent roll. 16 plus bonuses will hit. She does 1d6. Oh my goodness, that's a 6.
Whew.
Okay, so 1d6 plus 1, 7 damage. You did 24. All right. And the others who are nearby are going to hit it with their weapons as well. All right, that's going to be enough to take it out. Bert Picknuckle, the halfling, stabs it to death with his little spear.
Nice.
And another one is going to try and pull Licto to safety because he is unconscious, having had his intellect in part devoured. Next up is the brain things, though. They are very upset about your appearance here, you guys. They don't like it at all. Having attacked, by the way, the various quaggles that can are also moving and fleeing and trying to get further away from these things. Oh, okay. So one of the brain things immediately attempts to bite the fallen Licto, or at least Wazelgrot as she pulls him away, and rolls a 1. So that is definitely a miss.
Good. She
I
bites
thought
the wooden
briefly that the
foot.
symbol was a nat 20, but then I was like, nope, that's the nat 20 on the other side. So no. But there are some others here. Okay, another one of the quaggles goes down with psychic damage and collapses unconscious. Another takes some damage and is like clutching as its head and going, no, get out. And the rest of the brain things are that were further back in pursuit are changing direction and are coming down towards you guys and making a beeline for Copernicus.
Mr. Tasty Brain.
He's got a tasty, tasty brain. They're making a beeline for all of you, really, except for Ugna.
Can't imagine why.
I am, on this particular occasion, not a snack.
And they are dashing because that's what they're doing. They are dashing through the rocks.
Snow.
And next up is Copernicus.
Are there any intellect devourers still attacking the quaggles?
Yes, several.
Several. Okay. I think I'm gonna. Oh, but it's a concentration spell. Okay. Follow-up question. Do I know from having read the ritual pages if these are technically extraplanar creatures, or are these intellect devourers native to our material plane here?
You didn't get to read a lot about the ritual, but you rolled so good on Arcana. I'm going to say you would classify these almost as constructs.
Okay, so
It's
banishment.
something between a construct and an undead. They're a created creature. They're a built.
So they're not
grown
decolonial
creature.
devourers then.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Alright. I think I am going to drop a black tentacles on the ones attacking the quaggles.
I'll roll you some luck here. You can get all of the ones fighting the quaggles except one in one Everard's black tentacles.
Sweet.
Without getting any of the quaggles in it as well.
And with my movement, I will fall back. Normally, I don't mind taking damage, but I want to concentrate on this spell and keep the quaggles safe, so I'm going to let other people take the hits if I can.
You can get all of them if you aren't worried about getting quaggles caught in it as well.
I'll do that and I'll use a sorcery point.
Oh yeah, you can
Okay.
save one.
Yeah. Now keep in mind that you have not yet had a long rest since the last time you used this.
Yeah, so I've
Okay.
used up 1 point last time, and that's another one now.
So that's your second of 3.
Yeah.
Gone. So you do that. That can protect up to 4 creatures. You only need to protect, I think, probably 3 quaggles that are fighting the one in hand to hand, in order to do that, or at least there's definitely less that I would, including the fallen Licto 4, but that's the max, so you can do that.
So I'll fall back behind Ugna and I'll yell to the Quaggles, "Don't worry, the tentacles are your friends!" And
then otherworldly black tentacles erupt from the ground and start attacking the brain things, but not the quaggles. The quaggles are understandably terrified.
Why, it's a friendly sewer tentacle monster here to save us. Good luck for us. While intensely concentrating on it.
Excellent. Okay, I believe. Let me double check. I think that affects them at the end on their turn.
Let's take a look.
Every black tentacles spell. Give me the deets. Give me the deets.
When a creature enters the affected area for the first time on a
Yeah.
turn, or
starts there. So or starts its turn there. Sorry. So that's on their turn, but enters for the first time. I think would count when it first appears. So they have dex saves to avoid the bludgeoning damage immediately. So I will roll those saves. What's your spell save DC?
I believe it's 15. Yeah, 15.
15. These are dex saves. They have +3s. They have all made it except one. So one of them is going to take 3d6 bludgeoning damage for this particular turn. No, when it first appears. So immediately. And then we'll deal with their turn next time. So roll the 3d6 damage, please.
This counts as them entering the affected. Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming that if it appears with them in it, that counts as first entering it.
Yep. That's 10 damage.
So,
except average is magical damage.
Yeah,
So
it is considered magical damage for the purpose. It's a spell effect, so it does do damage to these things.
Nice.
Okay, 10 damage. Ow, I don't like it. And that one is also restrained. Next up, it is a Tromlin. What you gonna do, Tromlin?
I am going to. What? I don't have any spells left, do I?
Yes, you do. You guys had that one encounter and you cast several, but you didn't cast them all. I'm just pulling up. You cast a couple healing spells at the end from your prayer. You used all your prayer bead healing spells.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you still have one lesser restoration. Oh no, sorry. The curings are either. You have bless left. You have your 2 bless beads and your summons bead. And then for your spell slots, you still have all of your trickster, arcane trickster spell slots. Your 3 first level spells there, and then you cast 2 cure wounds. So I think you have 2 first level spell slots left.
Mm-hmm.
You cast 2 of your or is guiding bolt a first level spell? I can't remember.
It's a first level spell, but I usually cast at a higher level.
Yeah, I think you were casting it as second. So I think you still have your 2 third level spell slots.
Okay.
And 1 second level and 2 first level.
I need to get rid of these things, so I'm.
Oh, sorry, puppet is the other one you cast. So you have 1 first level spell slot left.
Okay, I'm going to aim a third level casting bolt, guiding bolt, at one of the puppies.
Nice.
Because they need to go the fuck away.
Excellent. One of the ones that's coming down towards you, or one of the ones that's attacking the quaggles?
I'm going to do the quaggles. I'm trying to draw as many away as possible.
Sounds good.
So let's see. I need to roll. That is a ranged attack.
Yep. Ranged spell attack.
That would be a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
Oh, that's 6d6.
Oop. Who did we just lose? Peter.
Peter, wish you were back.
Peter, please come back to us.
He's back.
There he
When
is.
Peter's missing, he messes up everyone except for Ugna and Fettid.
Alright, 6d6. 21. 25 points.
Okay, Zorch. And remember, your extra dice is per level, so as a third level, you were getting 2 extras there, right?
Yeah, I rolled 66 instead of 46.
Nice. Okay, Zorch, are you going to hit the injured one or a new one?
I'll hit the injured one. I want to take it out. If I can.
It's done. That's gone.
Okay.
So that's 2 of them now that are completely gone.
Good.
So there were 5 attacking the Quaggles. That means there's 3 left. And there are 8 coming down towards you guys in total.
That's a lot.
Yep, that's a lot.
And it is, and so I believe the advantage that you then give from Guiding Bolt is on the same target, so that's no longer.
Yeah,
relevant.
that sucks, but at the same time, it's gone.
But him taking one out is
Oh
good.
no, I did too much damage.
Yep. Next up is Morgan.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
It's a me, Morgan. Just
Oh.
as I was about to make my drink, shout out to Ingord We Trust for this wonderful gin.
Nice.
He had nothing to do with it, but it's his name.
Excellent.
Let me see here. Are there some tentacly bad guys in a row, possibly?
So the ones in the tentacles are not currently grappled, except the one that was has just been killed by Tromlin. So there's just a bunch of them. But the ones that are beelining towards you guys are kind of like they're all coming towards the same spot. So yes, there are several of them that are in a row.
Nice.
I love to hear that. All right, I will be casting
sense a lightning
lightning bolt. Hell
I
yeah.
did indeed sense that was coming. Okay, so
Good.
you cast a lightning bolt, and they have to make, I believe it is a dex save to take half damage.
And my spell save DC is 17.
Ooh.
Just double checking that I was right, that it is a dex save. Yes, it is. Dexterity save, and if they fail, they're taking 8d6 lightning damage.
Shit.
And if they
Just hoping.
succeed, they still take half of it. So I will roll for, I will say 4 of the 8 are in enough of a line to be caught by this. And I have, God dang, it's just a high dice roll night. One of them failed. 3 of them made it. I rolled 16, 16, 15, 5 are my 4 rolls. And they have a +3 dex save.
Boo, roll worse.
So 3 of them made the save, 1 of them failed. They all
Rolling
take
good's our
damage, though.
thing.
I apologize. I will do my best to roll worse.
What do you think you are, a trash hero?
Yeah, come on.
So roll. No, I'm a dungeon biologist. I say it at the head of the top of the show.
Right.
So roll me your 8d6 damage, and 1 of them takes full. The other 3 take half.
Okay, so that is. Do you want me to just list out the numbers and you do math?
Sure.
All right, 6, 5, 4,
11,
3,
15,
4,
15.
3, 1, 1.
18, 21, 20.
I don't think mine-
27.
Um,
I'm gonna round it up.
I don't
28.
think I can
Easier.
silvery barbs a save.
No,
I can.
no. You. It's the other way around. You can use
Yeah.
it on a. Or wait a second. It
I
does
I
can-
work
think
on
it's
a
when they
save,
make a
doesn't it?
roll or a check. I think she can.
I'm double checking. Silvery barbs. You cast it on. Yep, saving throw. It says. Oh, hang on. Yeah, ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. So yes, you can indeed.
Okay,
Do you wish to force one of them to re-roll that saving throw?
at least one, yeah.
Okay.
I have enough for that.
I'm just double checking if it affects more than one creature. It affects one creature. Yeah. So I have rolled a 2, so that is going to successfully
Yeah.
fail that saving throw.
So she's
and-
throwing out a at the person who she makes fail, and then gives a little ding over to Ugna for that bonus.
Okay,
Nice.
that means Ugna has advantage on your next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw you make.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell
Okay,
yes.
so that was 28 damage to 2 of them. And of course, roll for your wild magic possibilities.
Alright. That is a 9.
And then again for the silvery barbs.
That is a 13.
Okay. Where is my? Oh, there we go. I knew I had it open, but it was hiding. And do you wish for either of those to have a wild magic effect on it?
Yes.
I will allow that if you want it to. All right. In that case, I am going to roll for a wild magic effect. And we will see what else happens when you cast the lightning bolt.
Everything explodes.
You suddenly have a massive beard made of feathers. You it just shoots out of your face. You have a gigantic, long Gandalf-y feathery beard,
Alright.
and
Some
it tickles your
dwarves have
nose.
the weirdest directions.
Oh yeah.
It tickles your nose, so I'm going to roll randomly each turn to see if you sneeze, which may cause additional effects. Just so you know.
Perfect.
Okay, and then the other ones take half damage, so that'll be 14. Okay, that's quite a bit of damage you have spread around with that lightning bolt. Excellent. Next up is Ugna.
Is it me going last? Hey.
This looks like you going last.
Good. Excellent. Those little dudes, how small are they?
No.
They're dog sized, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, but then I just realized that we actually forgot Fettid's second attack
Oh heck.
because he is doing a ranged special thing. He forgot
Right.
forgot he had 2 attacks. So we'll do his second attack immediately after you go here.
I can do one.
We'll just say he was holding the second one in case a good opportunity arose to do something specific.
Do you think I could get more than one of those guys lined up in my net?
The ones that are charging at you, if you move towards them, then they are going to probably target you first, and therefore, yes, you could get 2 of them.
That sounds good. That's what I'm doing. I would get in the way anyway because I don't want them biting anyone else.
Okay.
So I'm sort of doing my interpose fighting style. But I get advantage to throw this net. And I needed it because one of those was a 2.
that would miss.
The other is a 16 and it's a +1, so that's 17.
Is that with your attack bonus?
No, that's not.
So better even.
Yeah.
You definitely hit. Definitely
okay,
hit.
cool. So net.
So, poof, yes, you actually get the two injured ones that saved against the lightning bolts, basically both jinked in the same direction, directly towards you, and you have thrown a net at them. So they are entangled in your net.
Excellent.
Are you attacking with your other hand?
I would love to put a knife into one of these guys.
Okay, so you still have
I got
Purdy's ritual
little
dagger because it's a magical +1 weapon.
I no longer have advantage, but I rolled real good. So 16 + 6.
Are you stabbing one of the ones that's entangled or a different one?
How close are the other ones?
They were all in a group
They're all
because they
on
got
me?
hit by the lightning bolt.
Right, I'll leave the entangled guys to deal with the entanglement then. I'll stab one of them in the brain.
Go for it.
Alright. So I'm pretty sure that hits.
What was the total?
22.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. And what does the
are you-
damage on this little dagger?
It's 1d6 +1, but then of course you get your +5 strength bonus on that.
Yep.
And whatever maneuvers you might put on it. Are you hitting a
Yes.
fresh one or are you hitting one of the injured ones?
I'll hit an injured one.
Okay.
And let's burn a...
Well, what's your damage first of all?
I rolled 4, plus my +5.
+6.
+6 is 10.
That kills it. No. Yeah, so
Yeah.
10 damage, you killed it. You
Great.
don't need to put
Cool. I will not spend a point on it then.
a maneuver on it.
Yep. And that was my offhand attack. I think I still have an attack.
So you just made
If the net is a hit attack.
the net was an attack.
Yeah.
The
An offhanded-
knife was your offhand attack. You still have another attack.
Yeah.
So you can
Great.
attack again.
I want
Stab another.
to spend one of my combat maneuvers to, instead of attack, do my commanding presence to intimidate the other guys.
Okay, what are you trying to intimidate them into doing?
I don't think I can scare them off because they're really not that kind of creature. Like, they don't seem skittish. They seem like they want to devour our brains. So I think what I'm doing is getting them to swarm me instead of Perny.
Scare them into you.
Scare them into me.
I believe you actually have the ability to taunt.
Oh, do
Although
I?
that's specific to one target.
That's true, yeah.
But if I would allow you to use your menacing,
Aura.
yeah, your menacing aura
feat.
here. Well, your menacing feat will can actually make one of your targets frightened
Right.
of you.
Can I frighten these
and then
guys?
they would-
Can I be so scary I'm scarier than the brain puppies?
You can frighten. Well, they are the brain puppies.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. If you frighten one of them, you only can do one target, but you can
Right.
make one of them frightened, and then it has to run away from you.
Yes, let's do that.
Also, he can't get past you if he's got to run toward the tentacles or
Exactly.
stay where he is.
Well, these are the ones that are past the tentacles that are coming towards the group.
Correct.
So I've stopped 2 of them and then killed a 3rd. If I
Yep.
can chase the 4th away, then we only have 4 to deal with.
Yeah, and now actually this is your second attack, so this has to be a hit though.
Oh, that's right. Then I'll just stab
Yeah.
the nearest one with that knife.
Go
That
for
good
it.
knife.
And you can save the intimidation thing for next
Yeah.
round.
10 plus 6, 16. Does that hit?
I believe that just hits.
All right.
Yes, it does. Armor class
Perfect.
15. You
Nice,
hit.
nice.
You're good.
All right. So that is a d6. And I will put one of my maneuvers on this.
Is this a fresh one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Call it a
So how much
pushing
damage
attack.
did you do?
4 plus my 7. Oh,
6
wait, no,
total.
not push 4 plus
Plus
6.
6, not plus
Is
7.
10?
Yeah.
And then if I've got the combat maneuver on it, that is another
Yep.
6.
So 16 damage, and it was a pushing
It's a
attack.
pushing attack.
So I will roll its saving throw, which it makes. Why? A
Ooh.
19. Holy crap!
Ooh.
Damn.
Damn.
I've been rolling real good on saving throws anyway.
I stab
Um,
it forcibly in the cranium, hoping to send it flying, but it holds its little claws in on the
No.
ground. Nope.
I refuse.
Arr.
Except it doesn't actually talk.
And I'm yelling
next,
as I do all of this. I'm like, hey, all you gross little guys, you fight me. You don't go fight them. I got brains too. They're big.
I got the biggest brains. Somebody. So yeah, Fettid now was holding action because we forgot the second
Yeah.
attack. So Fettid, you can take another action. What do you want to do?
I think it's gun o'clock. So I'm gonna
Gun
attempt
o'clock.
to shoot one of these guys.
My favorite time.
You may indeed do this.
All right. I will just take aim at whoever seems nearest. Yeah, that'll hit. That's an 18 plus whatever my to hit bonus is.
That'll hit for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the damage on the gun is
2d6.
2d6. Good lord. Oh, okay, no, that's fine. I'll 1 to 6, so that's 7 damage.
Are you shooting a damaged one
Yeah.
or a new one? Okay. So this is not the same weapon as your knife, so it doesn't get
Yes.
the poison damage. But if you're shooting one of the lightning injured ones, you kill it. So
Cool.
done. 4 down. Okay. And it is back to the top of the round, so it's your attack again, Fettid.
All right.
Now you used your bonus action last time to
Mhm.
activate your magic on your dagger, but so you now have your bonus action you can use for Hunter's Mark if you want to.
Yeah, I want a hunter's mark, one of these little brain bastards. And yeah, I will chuck my dagger.
One of the ones back up with the Quaggles, or one of the ones getting close to you guys.
I'm still more focused on helping the Quaggles, so one of those guys.
Sounds good. Okay, so
And-
same as before, you're making this attack with disadvantage because of range, but advantage
Yep.
because they're in melee when your pack tactics apply.
Plus 9, 19.
19 is a hit.
Sweet.
First of all, what does it sound like when you do your Hunter's Mark? When you do your Hunter's Mark, you have to like curse somebody out.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, bad dog. And then I throw my
Nice. Excellent.
What if they're into that though?
Somewhere
Well,
Ollie is
then
like, what? What did I
they're-
do?
Then they're going to die happy. That's okay, too.
Okay, so you hit. So your damage is 1d6 for the attack, or 1d4 for the dagger, plus 1d6 for the Hunter's Mark, plus 1d6 for the poison, plus you can use your swarm again because it's new turn if you want.
6 plus 2 plus...
So 3d6, one of which is poison. Not that it matters actually, because I determined there's no special resistance here. So just 3d6 plus 1d4 plus 6.
Plus 6. So that's 18. All is said and done.
Okay. That is an unhappy critter what got stabbed. And of course it is not poisoned because it's immune to that condition, but it would be otherwise. And next up is your Quaggle friends, who are very startled by the appearance of the black tentacles, but the black tentacles appear to be avoiding them.
That was only Jeff's first turn of this round.
Oh, right, again.
Yes.
Fettid, you have a second
Yes.
attack. I keep forgetting you have 2 attacks.
Well, I guess I have to use the second one to reload then, unless I can.
No,
just
because you can use your dagger again. It immediately reappears in your hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to throw my knife at this one stupid dog that I hate. It's bugging my friends.
Go for it.
That will be a dirty 20, so that should also hit.
That'll hit, and the damage is the same. 3d6 plus 1d4 plus 6.
It's 19 this time.
That'll do it.
I would also suggest a quick bathroom break after this.
I just realized I was going to say we're going to take a break in a few minutes, but it's already past that few minutes. So we're actually going to take a break. I should have done it at the top of the round, but that's fine. We did Fettid first. So, break time. Let's take our break and pick up in about 10 minutes, as
Sounds
usual,
good.
at 5:30. And carry on with the slaughter of these intellect devourers who haven't even had a chance to try and mess with your brains yet.
Oh no.
Good.
Oh no.
You've killed 5 of them already.
We'll see you later. See you in a few.